Honestly, I don't really think I have a single event I can put my finger on. I think it's been very much an evolution for me, and it's been very interesting to see the ups and downs of the field. But I think there are certain events which have been interesting, but I think they're just part of the realizations of a bigger background pressure, right? So the availability of data and compute resources mean that certain things are inevitable to arise. But I think there are certainly some papers that came out which I think exemplified the progress and the importance of the field. So certainly papers which were able to show that you could actually get very good say recognition performance in speech recognition. That was very interesting to see. That really made people sort of sit up and think, wow, this is really, it got to the point now, this is really, really useful in a daily environment. I think similarly with things like natural language processing, there have been some works which have come out fairly recently, which are things like the BERT language models, which are moving things to the point where, okay, it seems that maybe we can do things which were perhaps not really possible before, but we are close to be able to do really, really cool stuff in terms of natural language processing with that. In vision, there are also some relatively sort of compelling examples that happened maybe 10 years ago, where there's just a state of the art just went up, there was a quantum leap in the capability of these systems. So I think there were certain certain papers and certain events in that sense which have come about, which demonstrate that the utility of these systems is really, really high, or it's certainly got to a point that is very, very exciting from a user viewpoint. But I think from the bigger perspective, I think these are just they are the realizations which are in some sense rather not necessarily inevitable, but they're consequences of the underlying, the bigger powers and forces which are at play, which are namely the availability of compute and data resources. The underlying mathematics and the underlying engineering concepts and ideas are not actually that different to what they used to be 20 years ago. The architectures and the mathematical concepts and the machine learning ideas behind them are quite similar actually, but I think it's the seismic shifts, if you like, the tectonic landscape and plates which are moving are really about data and compute, and that's really, in some sense, the most important event, if you like, in the history of AI in that respect.